Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is the Doghouse Racing League, and this is the Group 6 Cup Series here live only on Doghouse Racing TV. Welcome to Pocono. Welcome to the Tricky Triangle. We are excited to be bringing you this race here tonight. Had a little bit of a break, but we are stoked to be back here with you. As always, my name is Hunter Foley, and I'm up here in the booth with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith, and we are excited to get to all of the Pocono action that is sure to be occurring here very shortly. But before we do that, we want to be sure that we pay the bills and thank all of the sponsors that we have here. Again, as I mentioned before, this is the Group 6 Cup Series. Special shout out to Group 6 for sponsoring the series this year here on Thursday nights in the Doghouse Racing League. Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com. That is Group, the number 6, inc.com. And see how they can drive your digital success. Again, huge shout out to Group 6 for being the series sponsor this year. We are running the MARSS Properties 200 here at Pocono Raceway here tonight. MARSS Properties offers vacation house getaways in North Carolina within an hour from the ocean. Call 817-705-4108. That is 817-705-4108. And speak to Shane directly about your North Carolina getaway. Speaking to Shane, you are speaking to the Doghouse Racing League's very own Shane Parrish. Shout out to them for sponsoring this here race. We appreciate them very much. The Doghouse Racing League is also very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. We are also very proud at the Doghouse Racing League to be sponsored by Buttkicker. If you want to take your iRacing experience to the next level, be sure to check out their website at thebuttkicker.com to get the best in racing and iRacing haptics. Will take your driving experience to the next level. Huge shout out to Buttkicker for being a longtime sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League. We are seeing these guys get out here and finish up their practice laps. We will be getting on over to our qualifying here in just a moment. We are going to be doing 80 laps here tonight at Pocono Raceway. Going to be having our stage breaks tonight at 20 and 40. Again, reminder, if you are new here, the Doghouse Racing League and the Group 6 Cup Series does not do caution flag stages. It's just for points. You will get a couple extra points depending on where you finish. Apologies for that little glitch in the matrix right there. And as always, be sure, if you haven't yet, to subscribe to the Doghouse Racing TV channel so you don't miss any of the action that is happening on over here, whether that be on Thursday nights or one of our other nights. Be sure you like the stream. It helps us out a ton. I see we got 12 people in here already, so thank you very much for being here. We are excited to be up here broadcasting for you. And be sure you get in the comments, cheer on your favorite drivers. Let us know how we're doing in the booth. Let your favorite driver know how they're doing. I know these guys love to go back and watch these streams. And I know it's a big highlight for them to be able to hear people cheering them on. We've got Goosiest JR just wishing everybody a hello on this fine evening. And B-Mac saying, yippee, go Team BMP. Good to see you, Andrew, number 12. Have a super great race. B-Mac, as always, super positive in the chat and cheering on the number 12 of Andrew St. Cyr. But that being said, I have done quite a bit of yapping here. John, you want to take it over for just a few minutes here and talk to us about Pocono as we start to see these drivers get their qualifying laps underway?
Absolutely not. I'm just joking with you. Nah, it's gonna be back. Been out for I feel like it's been forever, but it's only been about a week since Charlotte. Andrew St. Cour taking the win there, picked up his first win of the season, looking to try to do a repeat here tonight. Going to be a little bit tougher with this new iRacing update that's came out in the past week. I think it was last Tuesday where it
Yep.
came out. Whole new tire model. The aerodynamics for the car is totally different. We just talked to Shane Parrish for a little bit about the differences in the car, and definitely some stuff to get used to. So there's going to be a big shakeup in the league, from what I've been told from Shane, that you can drive these cars just a little bit harder than normal. And I directly started thinking about some of these drivers in the league that kind of hang back a little bit throughout the race and slowly make their way up. I don't know how well that strategy is going to work anymore, but this will be my first time seeing that tonight. So I'm looking at guys like Eric Warman that are usually saving those tires throughout the entire race. From what I'm hearing, that might not be a strategy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out with different drivers as we have come to know and love all these guys' different strategies, and going to be super interesting to see how that plays out on the track. And like you said, we were just talking with Shane, and he was saying how it seems like in a lot of ways you can drive the car a lot harder, but the aero is so wildly different right now. So when they're going in and they're trying to get in quick and kind of dive bomb into these turns, he was telling us that you can just get loose and you can get kind of tight loose so much quicker than you could before. And just when you thought, things might be a little bit easier and you were able to really drive the wheels off of it out here, that's when you're going to find yourself in the inside wall. And to be honest, I've been watching a lot of these guys qualifying and practice laps, and I've seen a lot of guys getting loose. I've probably seen more spin outs on a qualifying run than I have in a long time.
Yeah, especially coming from guys, it's kind of uncharacteristic to see it from too. We just saw Andrew St. Cour get a little bit loose there as he completes his second lap, but he's going to have that top spot secured as Jamie Horn has finished up one lap. I don't know if he'll go back out there and send another one, but Jamie Horn's going to be sitting in second place. Kevin Thompson now out the track, just finished his first lap, sitting in that P3 position.
Yeah, Team Beast Mode Performance is definitely looking set up for a good night tonight, as you got Andrew St. Cour up there in the first spot comfortably right now, and Kevin Thompson sitting there in third place. Got Cameron King with the Hot Lap Heroes currently qualified in fourth. Got Zachary Miller in fifth. Been seeing a huge rise out of him as the season's continued to go on.
See if he capitalizes right here as he comes around the stripe. Believe he's going to hold that same position.
Like he's going to take home that third spot pretty comfortably there. Big variation in those qualifying times as well. We've got Andrew St. Cour in that pole position right now with a 53.6. And then going back to 14th right now, you got Gary Armijo at a 55.42. Definitely going to be having to see how a lot of these guys are able to kind of control the car there. Like we said, that snap loose effect and the tight loose is going to be really interesting for a lot of these drivers to try to overcome as we especially kind of go into the actual race and start putting laps down. This is a long track, 2.5 miles. And from the conversation that we were having with Shane here just before everything got started, he was saying you're actually going to see yourself getting faster as the run goes on. It's not going to be that kind of sudden fall off that we've gotten so used to seeing in iRacing. You're going to see yourself getting faster and faster and faster until all of a sudden, right at your fastest point of your run is when you're really going to be needing to pit. I believe we have 21 cars out here going to be out on the track here at Pocono tonight. Currently got 14 drivers that have put down a qualifying time. Those that do not put down a qualifying time or hit the wall or something happened that negated their qualifying run will be starting in the back of the pack, and they will be ordered in terms of their practice times. Which would currently, the last car to qualify would be Gary Armijo, who is in 14th place right now. Based off of practice times, the remainder of your positions would go to Gary Clune, or excuse me, we go to Shane Parrish in 15th, Gary Clune in 16th, Nick Atwood in 17th, Adam Gardner 18th, Gary Maydew in 19th, Eric Anderson in 20th, and Bill Gentry in 21st.
Yeah, and going back to Pocono here, this is a track that I just don't get. Some drivers do get, but it's going to be a big shakeup for the guys that do get it because of this significant tire change, and the whole tire model is being completely different now. But I think Jamie Horn's got it figured out pretty well. It seems like St. Core's got it figured out pretty well. So looking for those guys to be fast, but there is a lot more strategy that can come into play here tonight as far as defensive strategies and also offensive strategies as you're leading this race, how you can set your car up to kind of mess the guy up behind you a little bit. So I kind of expect to see some tempers rise a little bit tonight, if I'm being honest. But
yeah, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, but Doghouse Racing League is by far one of the cleanest leagues that I have ever watched or been involved with, and just very, very low caution count, and thinks it could be a little bit wild tonight as everyone's getting kind of used to the new tires and the new updates and everything. Like you said, it's going to be kind of interesting to see people who maybe used to sit at the back or trying to get to the front a little bit quicker. People that usually like to ride to the front might be having to change up their strategy of how they're able to stay up there so that they're not getting any of that tight loose effect or anything like that. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting race to watch. I know for the viewers at home, it should be very exciting. And to be honest, we are broadcasters up here in the booth, but we are our fans first and foremost. And we're kind of flying blind a little bit on this one too. And it should be very, very interesting to see how this goes.
yeah, especially at a track like Pocono, it's going to be a fun one to try it out at first. Pocono's, 2.2 miles, I believe. Am I right on that?
I thought it was a full 2.5, but we can ask the all-knowing internet.
It is 2.5 miles. Looking at my little note sheet here, 2.5 miles. I do know that is modeled. Every turn is modeled after a different track when they actually designed this track. Where this first turn that you're about to see Justin McMahon in that 24 Group 6 car go around after Trenton Speedway, which is probably a little unheard of for a lot of people, but the second turn they're going to go around is modeled after Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then the third turn is after the Milwaukee Mile. So 3 different tracks you're running all in one tonight, and you got to learn to adjust and hit your marks every single time.
And like you said, with it being those 3 different turns, it's not only about hitting your marks, but it also changes how your approach goes into the corners when you're trying to pass, when you're trying to set up a new lane or something like that. Everything is different based on where you are on the track. So definitely going to be very curious to see how all of this ends up going down. But Andrew St. Core definitely looking like he is set up to have a good night tonight. He is also your most recent race winner. And then I believe points-wise right now, our top 5 is currently going to be Jamie Horn, Shane Parrish, Christopher Simon, Eric Warman, and Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, I try to flash that point standings up on the screen there for you so everybody at home can see where their favorite driver lands at coming into Pocono this week. Kind of had a break from Michigan last week with a new update. Want to give these drivers some time to adjust. I know a lot of setup shops are in tats about this because all the setups are now maybe a little worthless. But yeah, coming in 6th, Eric Warman, Shane Parrish 7th, Jonathan Jennings in 8th, who I do not believe is here tonight, Adam Thompson 9th, and Gary Clune in 10th. Definitely going to be some shakeups, I think, this week. Some guys who are fast that are out. We haven't seen Seth Fitzpatrick in the past 2 or 3 races, I believe, so he might continue to drop down a little bit. But Andrew St. Core sticking up high in there in that number 2 spot, fighting for the number 1 spot, only 50 points behind Jamie Horn coming into tonight, so definitely a chance for him to go out there and get it. These 2 guys are going to be starting side by side on that front row as it is, so it's going to be a good battle between those 2. Other guys I'm looking forward to seeing move up a little bit in the points, Adam Thompson. I don't think he was here with this last race, but here tonight, good run would move him up some points. He is only 4 points behind Jonathan Jennings, who is out tonight. And then also Eric Warman. I mean, we talked about him earlier. He's got kind of a guy that saves a lot of tire. And according to our very good friend, Mr. Shane Parrish, that might not be a thing tonight.
It's definitely going to be a kind of a show. I also don't know what point standings I was looking at because I was so wrong, but I appreciate you throwing that up on the screen so that everyone can actually know what the real point standings look like. That would be a thing that a professional would do. Yeah, I don't know what I was looking at, but
were you looking at the race
Pocono
results from last week?
Plead the fifth. But either way, we are very excited to see how this ends up going. We do have these drivers gridded up, so we can go ahead and spin through the lineup real quick if you want to throw that up really quick.
I got you.
While he's getting that up, we are going to be having partly cloudy weather tonight at Pocono Raceway, 81 degrees, 11-mile-an-hour winds, which is something you can probably expect to have a little bit of effect, especially on those straightaways. Track's at 106, which is a little bit cool for Pocono. So maybe might make things just a little bit tighter, which would be great for these guys getting used to the new tires. But in terms of how we are going out there after qualifying, Andrew St. Cyr, your pole winner for tonight with Beast Mode Performance, is going to be starting in the first position. Jamie Horn is going to be starting second in that 98 machine. Kevin Thompson in third. Two Beast Mode Performance drivers in the top 5. Cameron King in the 92 car is going to be starting 4th. Zachary Miller is going to be starting 5th. Justin McMahon going to be starting 6th. Zach Michael in 7th. Adam Thompson is going to be starting in 8th. Mike Leftwich is going to be the highest qualifier for the Shoney's racing team, starting in 9th. Eric Warman going to be starting 10th. Christopher Simon going to be 11th. Daniel Wilkerson, race admin, is going to be starting in 12th. Mark Dumont, 13th. Gary Armijo in 14th. Shane Parrish with Mars Properties is going to be starting in 15th. Gary Clune is going to be starting 16th. Nicholas Atwood, 17th. Adam Gardner is going to be starting in 18th. Gary Maydew is going to be starting 19th. Eric Anderson going to be starting 20th. And Bill Gentry going to be starting 21st. And that is your lineup for the Mars Properties 200 here at Pocono. And as I go through that list right there, just a couple of updates just to make sure that we have everything correct here. It does not currently look like Adam Gardner or Gary Maydew are out on the track. Green flag racing, here we go. The Mars Properties 200 here at Pocono. Off to a start here. Andrew St. Cyr and Jamie Horn going to be neck and neck right there in the front, followed closely by Kevin Thompson and Cameron King. Andrew St. Cyr looking to that high side, Jamie Horn going inside.
I'm seeing here where Adam Gardner actually just left the pits here, so maybe missed the grid. He will be starting a lap down for us tonight.
I actually heard him talking about that. I think they were trying to figure out how they were going to do it. I was kind of curious to see how that would end up. He wanted to be EOL'd at the beginning of the race. I don't think he said he'd gotten fully comfortable with the new updates yet, didn't want to cause any trouble for anyone. Which kind of, again, there is just kind of showing the absolute class of the Doghouse Racing League, but I think he's just out there trying to get some practice in.
I understand that completely. Jamie Horn taking a good old lead here away from Andrew St. Cyr. Pretty bright and early. Cameron King hanging around that 3rd spot, but Justin McMahon all over the bumper, going to get around him on the high side here, making that pass.
Kind of interesting to see where everyone's kind of trying to find their lanes right now as well. Like you said, Jamie Horn working his way out to a pretty comfortable lead there over Andrew St. Cyr to start this thing off. See a lot of drivers kind of go to the high side and then drift a little bit lower on their entry points. See Adam Thompson there started out this race in 8th and then had worked his way up to 7th. Looks like he just lost that position again to Eric Warman. Looks like he was one of the only people on the track that was kind of running it a little bit noticeably lower.
Shane Parrish is already up 3 spots in that 12th place position. He only ran 1 qualifying lap, did not make it to the line, I believe, and I think he got loose right before he got to the line, so shut it down there.
I know we've talked about it quite a few times. You know, a lot of this racing thing, there is skill, there is practice, there's all these things that go into it, but there's also a pretty serious mental game that goes into it. Is, you know, if you're going out there, you're knowing you're not 100% comfortable with the car, but you're confident in your own skills, why would you put yourself through spinning out on a qualifying lap when you just kind of go out there and try to get things done? See Adam Thompson there looking like he's trying to work his way to the inside of Zachary Miller. Eric Warman already completed that pass just this last time by. That's going to move Eric up into 6th, and Adam Thompson fighting his way up to get into the 6th spot.
Yeah, it looks like the leaders here kind of starting to space out a little bit, looking for some passes here on the track. Shane Parrish looking to the inside of Daniel Wilkerson, that new 28 paint scheme there as he goes through the tunnel. That's a hard turn to manage right there. You can really carry a lot of speed, a lot of momentum, and wash out to the high side pretty quickly there if you're not too careful. But
yeah, this is a really tricky track. I know we were kind of talking about it in kind of an excited fashion here when we were getting this thing started, but Pocono's a bear of a track when you're used to it, and it's even bigger when you're dealing with a situation like we have with the new tire setups and everything else like that. Like I said, during practice, we saw people spinning north, south, east, and west. I believe I saw some guy go northwest at one point. It was crazy. But caution is out here really quick, and it looks like we have Gary Armijo calling for the caution. Have Eric Anderson in a ball of smoke getting things back going here.
yeah, Chris Simon as well had it turned around. He's just getting it back straight now. So we'll try to pull up that caution. Looks like
Adam
Chris
Gardner's
Simon's
strategy
gonna lose.
looking like it's starting to work out. He's up there catching right back up to the back of the pack.
Oh no, that is going to be Nick Atwood got a little loose there. Simon tried to check up for him. Armijo had to check up as well and just got into the back of Chris Simon. Let's see if we can hop on board here with Christopher Simon as we run through this turn. That car in front of him just snapped. Looked like Atwood's car just snapped loose.
Yep.
And then just caused a massive checkup. That's just unfortunate. It doesn't look like a lot of damage for any of these drivers, but not what you want to have early on.
Definitely not, but like you said, it looks like a good job by everybody to avoid too much damage. So I believe everybody, for the most part, unless something happened that I missed, should probably be able to stay on the lead lap here. I think Chris Simon might have just been the first victim of what Shane Parrish was talking to us about before the race, with that kind of tight, loose effect where you feel that car drifted up the track, getting closer and closer to the wall. It's tight, it's tight, it's tight. You can't do anything. And you just hit that breaking point, and all of a sudden, see you later, merry-go-round, carnival ride.
Yeah, these being open setup cars too, these guys are making different changes to the cars, and it's definitely going to change how most people run these cars. I have not had the chance to run these cars yet with a new update and run it through some Motec for some testing and data, but I can imagine the rear differential playing a lot here. The rear diff is kind of what helps you drive off the corner. It's not like the biggest factor that helps you, but it will definitely cause that snap loose effect if you put too much into it. Pretty much saying that the more I get in the gas, the more that back end will spin. you'll hear a lot of drivers talk about how they like to drive off the right front or they like to drive off the right rear, meaning the right front, they like to drive a tighter car, and the right rear is pretty much a looser car. But sometimes you drive off that right rear too much, it can snap on you.
Do have a couple cars coming down pit road as well. Looks like Gary Armijo, Bill Gentry, Chris Simon, Eric Anderson, and Adam Gardner all brought it down pit road this time by.
I do see some damage to the back end of Simon's car, but it doesn't look like anything major.
Got K Doggy in the chat saying, "What's up? What is up, sir? Good to have you in here with us." Yeah, and also I know you were just talking about haven't had a chance to put it through too much testing, but Motec not a sponsor unless they wanted to be. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But like you said, this is an open setup league as well. So I mean, a lot of these guys either have setup shop sponsors or good relationships with their setup shop of choice, and this is going to be very interesting because, like you said, a lot of setup shops were in an absolute scramble over the past week and a half because pretty much everything you had before is
not good.
That was me muting my microphone because I had to sneeze. Didn't want to subject anyone to that, but yeah, not good. And now they're wanting to kind of get things back under control, and they're trying to do their own testing. They're also trying to make sure that the drivers that they have, that they work with, are comfortable with it as well. So I would not have wanted to work for a setup shop this past week.
Yeah, and a lot of these drivers too are on teams are going to be running about the same setup. I mean, setups will not make your car a rocket ship, but it is kind of like a glove that fits the driver and really complements your driving style how it is. Yeah, you can make a setup that's going to be definitely faster than another setup, but a lot of tweaks go into it just to fit the driving style for a lot of these people. I know I myself kind of like to drive a looser car, kind of like to drive off that back tire a little bit more. So I'm not sure how these new tire models will play for me very well. I fully endorse the whole Eric Warman strategy. I think he can trademark that here for the league, but I like to kind of hang back a little bit and see how the race goes, kind of figure out what I'm going to do over the first stint, and then really use my tires to my advantage here at the end. But this could change a lot of things. But Eric Warman doing pretty good, sitting up here at the front right now in P5, up 5 spots for the night. Shane Parrish moving up 8 spots tonight. Or 7 spots, sitting in 8th place right now.
Yeah, definitely seeing some movers and shakers out there, and I think maybe people are starting to catch on to what you were talking about just a second ago, where it's, hey, you kind of got to get to the front. You got to get there a little bit quicker. But yeah, like you said, with setups especially, I mean, some of them fit like a custom-made glove that you got made just for you, and some of them fit like OJ's. Ayo.
I'm not going to continue that. I'm not going to keep that one going.
That's probably for the best. That was a little risky anyway, but I'm just happy to be back, man. We are about to be. Oh man, that would have been a good one. Oh man, me and John have a competition where we try to do the best segues, and that would have been a really good one. We're happy to be back. These drivers are happy to be back going green. Jamie Horn immediately jumps out to a good head start there.
I don't know if you saw the pace car on that there camera, though. He kind of Tokyo drift fast and furious into the pit lane there.
He kind of did. It was very sudden. Andrew St. Cyr with a really nice move there to block off the oncoming Eric Warman. Oh, what, Andrew St. Cyr? Excuse me, I apologize. That was the number 6 of Kevin Thompson.
Kerry Clune giving it all he's got to Mike Leftwich right now. Mike Leftwich able to hold him off. Sitting in that P9 spot. These guys are too wide. Atwood's going to look to the inside of Gary Clune. The thing here, man, if you do not get a good run off turn 3, your whole straight speed is done. You're going to get past. You're going to fall back. Everything. your next lap time is going to be significantly slower. I feel like turn 3 here is a huge deal, trying to get speed, but maintain speed coming out.
Yeah, and it's looking like there might be a little bit more speed up there at the top of the racetrack right now. I'm looking back at Zachary Miller right now. Currently going to be down 9 spots, started in 5th, is currently running in 14th right now. Actually just got passed by that 34 machine of Zach Michaels. So that's actually going to move him back to 15th right now. Christopher Simon trying to work his way back up. We just saw a little bit of a slide there out of the 91 Nicholas Atwood there. Currently running in the 11th position right behind Daniel Wilkerson. Cutting back here really quick to the guy whose name on the front of the car is also the name above the track right now. Shane Parrish from MARSS Properties is charging up and charging up quickly. He's currently trying to work his way. Oh no, Adam Thompson's around.
Don't hit the wall. I don't think he hit the wall. I think he's good.
What a job of saving that. Just as I was saying, Shane Parrish had just worked his way around. Adam Thompson was starting to try to get his run on Eric Warman for the 6th position. We saw Adam Thompson get turned around. I think he's still trying to get everything going in the right direction. Three-point turn, Adam.
He just barely scratched the wall a little bit.
You don't even have to file insurance for that one. That one's going to be fine.
And then when he was turning, he hit the wall. There's a little bit more there.
I think he hit it more while he was trying to turn.
Yeah, I think so.
And if any of you out there have ever heard us interview Adam Thompson, you would understand that that is not talking crap. Adam's a really funny guy. Whenever we have him up here in the booth, either when he's on the podium after a race or just for an in-race interview, he cracks us up. Really, really funny guy. I think he'd appreciate it.
Always a good time having Adam Thompson come up. I would compare him to a Cletus McFarland, but I don't know how people would take that. It's either a good thing or a bad thing, I guess, for some people.
I mean, he's a personality. I mean, I enjoy watching his stuff. I think he knows a lot about the actual design of the cars and how to make a car go fast, which is really cool and really interesting. I've seen some stuff that a little bit curious from time to time. I think back to that podcast he did with Dale Jr. and it seems like Dale's just trying to give him game about racing. And Cletus is kind of more just like, well, does it go any faster? And then for anyone that doesn't follow myself or John over on Nat Betty Racing, shameless self-plug, we were at the Charlotte races this year and did get a chance to see Cletus McFarland money shift while running in second place and take out quite a few drivers.
Yeah.
Happened right in front of us.
He's referencing that Daytona track walk video with Dale Jr. And Dale Jr. is just dropping nuggets of wisdom about Daytona, more stuff that I would ever think of to think about in a racetrack. And you can tell there's just nothing going through his eyes, through Cletus McFarland's eyes when he's just listening. I mean, he's just the old grip it and rip it kind of racer, you know? I respect it.
Which is really fun to see, and I mean, it makes for great TV, and I mean, it seems like a very genuine guy, like, you know, has a lot of fun with it, and it's cool to see, you know, especially in, you know, what seems to be maybe a little bit of a rebirth of NASCAR and getting more fans and getting more eyeballs on it. And, you know, now we have these Amazon Prime broadcasts where you know, you see all of the announcers sitting up in the booth with the winning driver, and they're chugging a beer and having a good time, and it just seems like it's bringing a lot of the fun back to it, and Cletus is definitely bringing a lot of the fun back to it.
Yeah, I mean, people are begging for changes in the car model and everything like that, but I don't think NASCAR's going to budge on that right now. But what they can do is add personality, and I think that's something that's missing a lot from the sports. A good personality that's a genuine personality. I'm referencing one driver who I think's a WWE superstar that's just in a NASCAR event. It just kind of feels that way every time he says something. I'm like, that just seems like a WWE thing to say. Like, just very scripted kind of talk. But you could probably figure out who I'm talking about. I respect him as a driver.
You respect him. I'm kind of... Can I have one guess?
Oh, yeah,
and
go
if
ahead.
I'm right, and if you tell me, if I'm right, you tell me. If not, your choice.
Yeah, go ahead. If 16 viewers in this thing here are fans of him, I'm sorry, but
Are you talking about Denny?
I am talking about Denny Hamlin.
I just beat your favorite driver.
Exactly. I was at that race, and that's the first thing I thought. I was like, that is the corniest thing I've ever heard. Like, you don't have to force somebody. You don't have to force yourself to be the villain, you know?
Yeah, I think he's trying to take that Kyle Busch podium. I mean, Kyle still likes to talk it, but he hadn't won a race in quite a while, and it's hard to kind of have a loud mouth when you're not winning a lot. But
Yeah.
I think maybe Denny's trying to take that mantle.
Oh, long pace laps. We get to talk about random stuff up here. It's a good time, but we're about to go back green here as the pace car is going to skirt off again. I'm actually going to put a bigger view on so anybody at home can see this guy just slider into pit road. Jamie Horn's going to be on your inside. Andrew St. Court on your outside. The pace car has skidded into the pit lane. Good jump by Jamie Horns. We're back green flag racing. Looks like a checkup out of Justin McMahon on that high side in the 24 car. Eric Orman's got to slow up a little bit, but a great run by Cameron King on that inside.
Eric Anderson very, very quickly dropping all the way to the back of the pack there. He is going to go into the last position almost immediately there. See Adam Thompson back there trying to make something work and get his way back up to the front of the pack. Got a little bit of a ways to go at this point, but was running at the front pretty consistently. Definitely has the car to do it. Battle in the middle of the pack right now. See Mike Leftwich currently trying to hold off. I believe that's going to be Shane Parrish. Shane Parrish is going to work his way around. And now Gary Kloon's going to look to the side as well.
There's been some good battles back here this whole time. Seems like the front first 1 through 5 guys kind of space out. Maybe 1 through 7. And then back here, there's just some battles going on.
Everybody else has been getting after it. Got Sean Thompson in the comments saying, "Go Dick Trickle." Absolute legend. I was wearing it when we were at Charlotte. I was wearing a shirt that had Bill Elliott on it. And all of a sudden, somebody from across the way, not close to where we were standing, who was working the Toyota booth, just hollers, "Wild Bill from Dawsonville." To be honest, I got scared.
People were flocking to you about that t-shirt, man. It was kind of the talk.
Shout out your vintage clothes guy in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Yeah, Thrift by Nate. If you guys are looking for some good, this is a sponsorship plug, by the way, but local guy, I guess. Thrift by Nate. Always got some good NASCAR stuff. Speaking about some real sponsors and shout-outs, I want to give a special shout-out to Trackside NASCAR Outlet, who has just found out this week that they are going to be sponsoring our Tuesday night series on Intensity Broadcasting on YouTube for the ARCA series that we're going to start out next week. His first preseason race. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to be driving the new ARCA cars. I'm excited for it. I have zero experience in those cars. I drove it for the first time at Daytona this week in our recruitment race and realized how much I didn't like it. But not liking it right now, Gary Armijo looks like he is sliding off the track.
Oh, I was waiting for my moment.
And nope, I took that one away. That's a transition point for me. Trying to figure out what happened here. We're kind of watching Shane Parrish and some others trying to make some moves here. See if we can flash you back. Oh, they were 3 wide.
That'll do it.
Oh. Ouch. I think Adam Gardner and Gary Armijo just kind of didn't time the corner up well together. I'd like to get a better view of this. Yeah, I think
they were trying to fly around there like they thought they were the Blue Angels, and oof.
Yeah, I think Gary Armijo was taking an early entry to that corner, and I think Gardner was trying to set up a little bit harder or a little bit higher to get more of an apex for that corner. That's a tough corner. That's one of the hard ones to figure out, I think, at this track. I mean, turn 1 is definitely a tough one to figure out, but that tunnel, you got to be able to hit it just right. But once you do, it feels good, man. If you could just float through there and maintain your momentum going through that corner and float up to the high side, it makes all the difference in the world.
I believe that's going to be our first, like, really serious damage that we see out here. That is our 3rd caution here on lap 18 of 80 here at Pocono in the MARSS Properties 200. We are going to be coming to the end of the first stage here shortly. We will see how that plays out. Definitely going to be a lot of damage for Adam Gardner and Gary Armijo to deal with. Up until this point, we have had 20 cars on the lead lap. Gary Armijo has just gone a lap down. Believe he had to do a tow. Adam Gardner's going to have quite a bit of damage to get repaired. Gary Maydew did not start the race, and so he will be currently sitting in the last position here. Also had, I believe, who else do we have go down pit road? Zachary Miller, Zach Michael, Eric Warman, and I think that's it. Sean Thompson again in the comments saying he has several of his shirts actually from the 80s. That is extremely cool. Fun fact, my dad worked for Exide Batteries in the era of the Burtons, which was kind of how I got introduced to NASCAR, how I got to go to my first races and things like that. And thinking back on all those Exide shirts that my dad had that he used to change the oil in the car.
Yeah.
Because he had so many of them, and now knowing that he could probably sell those for like $60 a piece actually pains my soul.
Yeah, I mean, again, not a sponsorship for the league by any chance, but my NASCAR hookup guy, Thrift by Nate, he sells some of those shirts for, I mean, some are close to $180 depending on how vintage they are. And same thing, man. I remember my dad had a bag of t-shirts that were just like shirts you just wipe up stuff with in the shop or something like that. Like that was your rags essentially. I mean, those were like some vintage NASCAR shirts looking back. The hats that they used to throw in pit lane back in the day when they just hat parade, he had tons of them and he gave them away. It's crazy.
No, he was sitting on hundreds of dollars of vintage merch in 2025, but
that might be why I'm a hoarder or stuff like that.
I definitely am too. But Adam Gardner is going to be taking the EOL for that caution there. I mean, he's going to be starting closer to the back anyway. He is still currently on pit road getting damage repaired, as is, I believe, Gary Armijo was getting back out there, and he just spun it out and hit the wall. He's back on pit road.
He's going to go back to the pits. Going to take him probably another lap down for the towing penalty. Luckily, it's a long pace lap, so might not lose too much time there.
Gary's gone. He's done. He's called it a night. He packed the van.
That's another thing too. Like we were talking about the aero being a little bit different, and I wonder if people like where's Chris Simon at that had some damage earlier to the back end. Like how is that affecting him throughout this run? If he felt anything different just with this new car update, if it's more sensitive to that. It looks like he got most of it fixed, if not everything, but he's currently running P11 right now, exactly where he started the night at. Nick Atwood up 8 spots for the night. Gary Clune up 8 spots. Shane Parrish up 9 spots. Going to be your biggest mover right now.
Your top 5 as we come to this restart is going to be Jamie Horn again starting first. Also on this lap going to be taking the first stage win. So congratulations to Jamie Horn for getting those bonus points. Andrew St. Cyr starting second. He's got Cameron King running right there with him. Justin McMahon in 4th and Kevin Thompson in 5th. Oh, we got to pile up in the middle of the track.
I missed it.
Looked like Gary Clune might be about to get caught up in it, but he got his way around it.
I saw a lot of shuffling there. I was trying to go back. Nick Atwood all over the bumper. Gary Clune there, kind of give him a little push into the corner. He's going to have a good run off this corner here. He might be able to make a pass into the next one.
Not sure who it was that hit the wall there. It was Shane Parrish.
Mark that down. We'll try to get back to that in a second here. I do see where Shane Parrish is down pit road.
Him and Cameron King were battling back and forth. I can't see a replay of it right this second, but they were battling back and forth, and Shane Parrish found his way into the outside wall. Gary Clune almost got caught up in that as well, but I believe he was able to get out of that unscathed, but that is going to shuffle things up a little bit. Jamie Horn, Andrew St. Cyr, and Cameron King are your top 3 right now. Justin McMahon and Kevin Thompson following closely behind. Only about a second of difference between 1st and 5th right now. Of course, as I say that Jamie Horn picks up about 0.6 of a second, but that's about how that goes. Again, like you were talking about earlier as well, seeing these leaders kind of pull off and get kind of single file here pretty quickly. Lots more battling kind of going on towards the middle of this pack right now. Seeing Gary Clune and Nicholas Atwood go at it for 7th and 8th right now. Chris Simon been kind of quietly creeping his way forward. He's in 9th now, started in 11th. And then look who has rejoined the party and is going to rework their way back up to the front. Adam Thompson, after having to go to the back of the pack after a self-spin about 6 laps ago, now finds himself back up in 11th.
Yeah, these guys back here are still racing pretty hard, fighting for every spot they can get. Atwood still trying to get around Gary Clune. Hits the wall there just a little bit coming out of turn 1.
Heard Adam Thompson come over the driver radio and made a sound that I can only describe as when you poke the Pillsbury Doughboy. For anyone, if this is your first time joining us, first of all, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Got 15 people out in the stream right now. Thank you very much for joining with us. Hope that you will leave a like and subscribe and join us every single Thursday. We would definitely appreciate it, as would these drivers. But I am able to hear the driver radio. There is an open driver radio channel for them to discuss what's going on, call for a caution, EOLs, things like that. But again, we are dealing with a group of very nice but very competitive individuals here. So in an effort to try to keep this stream under the PG-13 ranking, I will not only be serving as your broadcaster, but also as your anger translator in case anything happens. Because we would like it if you're able to watch this with your kids or your grandma or whoever. And sometimes there's some not very kid-friendly or grandma-friendly language. Unless it's your parent or your grandma, in which case they never curse. Haven't heard them do it once.
I'm sitting here watching Nicholas Atwood just drive through the pack here. Getting really good runs. Might be overshooting just a little bit on that exit there, but he's trying to get around Gary Clune once again. Clune's been holding him off for a while. They just got around Mike Leftwich. Going to be sitting in that 6th and 10th or 6th and 7th spot. They are both up 10 spots tonight between Gary Clune and Nick Atwood. Atwood's getting loose. He's going to hit the wall here.
He is going to hit the wall and hit it pretty good. Don't know that that's going to bring out a caution. He got all the way to the bottom of the track pretty quickly. He's trying to get it back up to speed, but wonder what sort of damage you might be dealing with after that.
Yeah, that's got to be a sigh of relief out of Gary Clune, too. Not just because holding off the guy behind you, but now you don't have to burn as much tire trying to keep him from passing you. Clune's fast. I think he can make up a little bit of time here.
100%. And I do see Shane Parrish as well. Again, got the MARSS Properties on the front of that car. We are running the MARSS Properties 200. Saw him and Cameron King get a little too close to each other about 4 laps ago. Shane Parrish ended up in the outside wall, and he is now back on the track after getting that damage repaired. He is currently going to be 4 laps down, running in the 18th position.
And Eric Warman's falling back a little bit here at 12th place right now. Looking at Zach Michael coming around, trying to make a move on Daniel Wilkerson. Just got around Eric Warman. Zach Michael going to be sitting in the 11th place position. His teammate Zach Miller, haven't talked about him much tonight, sitting in 13th. Both these drivers under the Horn Simpson Racing team.
And it's starting to look like, we know we were, I was mentioning earlier in the race that it seemed like the high side had a lot of the speed. I'm seeing a lot more drivers get low quicker, it seems like. Maybe they're starting to find a little bit more grip down there. You see that whole line right there, led by Gary Clune, who's in 6th place, go to the bottom of the track, and then go higher on exit. Adam Thompson going to be trying to keep it low and get his way around Mike Leftwich here. Don't think he's going to be able to get it this time by, but if he gets that exit, he should be able to.
Yeah, I mean, usually at Pocono here, the low side's going to play a little bit more. I know turn 3, there is some different strategies you can take between like the second line and the first line, maybe even the third line if you're feeling it, but maybe diamonding out of that corner there. A big thing is going to be your apex and where you're starting that corner at. 1 and 2, I think, across the board, it's going to be sticking as low as you can. I've seen drivers, especially in 2, in this tunnel here, actually kind of cut the yellow line a little bit. Not completely, but keep 2 wheels underneath it. If your car gets a little bit tight, it used to be able to help you loosen up a little bit to skirt through that tunnel, but turn 3 is where it kind of shakes up just a little bit. So we said this one mimics the Milwaukee Mile coming through this corner, and we know at Milwaukee you can run, usually at Milwaukee you run about the 3rd lane up.
I was going to say in Milwaukee, you usually see them running, trying to find a high life because it's so daggone cold there.
I think that's all they got is Brewers baseball, and yeah.
If anyone out there is from Milwaukee, God bless you. You are a better person than I. I couldn't do it.
My professor is from Milwaukee, and I make fun of him every day for it.
Milwaukee?
Yep. And he thanks me every day for us giving him William Contreras.
I appreciate how your professor's a knower of ball.
Oh yeah. I think it's like one of the biggest compliments you can get in life right now is this guy knows ball.
Professor sounds like he does. Someone else who seems like they know ball is Daniel Wilkerson, who just got his way around Mike Leftwich for the 8th position. Daniel been working his way up, started in 12th, now up to 8th. Adam Thompson worked his way through that pack pretty easily. I believe he restarted in 12th, is now up in 7th. But Gary Clune has been able to hold him off up until this point. Seems like Adam might be able to get a run right here. And he does, and Adam Thompson is now back in your top 6. Someone else that is hard charging right now is Zach Michael. He's been using that inside lane to his advantage, but it seems like he got a little bit slowed down right there. And Daniel Wilkerson is safe for another lap.
I do like that high lane that Wilkerson's running there, though. I mean, definitely a different look. Yeah, it looked like it's kind of paying off for him, especially on exit. Not sure how 1 will pay off. I mean, again, I haven't ran this track in forever, especially with these new car setups, but he looks really good on exit. Eric Warman's going to be able to get around Zach Michael right here. I think Zach Michael got a little loose.
I know we've been kind of focusing on that about 7th to 6th and 7th to back to about 12th. Seen a lot of battling going back there over the last several laps, but our top 5 remains completely unchanged. Jamie Horn is still running in first. I believe he's led every single lap so far. Trying to go wall to wall here tonight. Andrew St. Corb is still running in second place, about 7/10 of a second behind Jamie Horn. Cameron King is running in 3rd place right now. Justin McMahon is in 4th, and Kevin Thompson is in 5th. Looks like Justin might have just gotten a little bit loose right there. Kevin Thompson able to close in the gap just a little bit right there. Between 1st and 5th, there's about 2.2 seconds of difference right now. But then going back to your next driver, who in 6th place would be Adam Thompson, there is about 8 seconds between Kevin Thompson and Adam Thompson right now.
Yeah, that front 5 is just really pulling away with it. It's almost like 2 different races going on right now.
This is where you kind of said, we talked about it before, in a league that's as competitive as Doghouse is, sometimes it comes down to your pit road strategy and being able to make the right move at the right time. And I know we've seen that several times here this season. I know we don't have him here tonight, but Seth Fitzpatrick was one of those guys that you could kind of know was going to pull some crazy stuff and go with some wild pit road strategy. We saw him and Shane Parrish go back and forth a couple times on that, and really, really fun to watch. And I think that being in a league like this where the skill level is really high, that's one of the things that makes it interesting, not just the, obviously very great racing out there on the track.
Little update with Shane Parrish. He is on the track now, 5 laps down. I believe he's got most, if not all, of his damage fixed on that 66 Mars property machine.
And he is going to be our first car that is a lap down, though. So even though he is 5 laps down, he would be in our lucky dog position. So if we do have another caution, he would be in the position to get another one of those laps back. That is next person closest to being a lap down would be Nicholas Atwood. He is still on the lead lap currently in 16th place, but is 35 seconds behind the leader. But again, at a track that's as big as Pocono is, he's still a full turn and a half ahead of the leader, Jamie Horn.
Yeah, I want to go back and take a look here. Going back to lap 21 with Shane Parrish while we got a second. As we kind of fast forward it here, everybody's kind of single file right now racing. Just want to get a look at what did cause that damage to Parrish. You can see him behind them, 24 car on the high side, 3rd car back. It looks like Gary Clune just got to the inside of him, tapped him up. Like Kevin Thompson making a run here on Justin McMahon, trying to get that 4th place spot back. He's going to be on the inside. not going to be able to clear him here, but he looked fast coming out of that turn too.
Kevin Thompson's been knocking on that door a couple times here over the past several laps. Really trying to get something done, but just hadn't been able to get it done just yet. I believe I just saw Mike Leftwich come off of pit road.
I'm trying to look. You did. Mike Leftwich just came off of pit road here. Lap 36. Trying to shake some things up. I mean, that second pack is continually falling back.
I was going to say, for all of the great racing that we are seeing back there, see that pack now being led by Adam Thompson after having that trouble here earlier in the race. Lots of good racing going on back there, but they are consistently losing somewhere between 0.3 and 0.5 of a second every single lap to this lead pack.
And I don't think they're losing to the pack. Now I'm looking at the deltas here. I think they're losing to Jamie Horn, who is kind of just pulling away with it. St. Core is sticking close to about less than a second behind, but looking at the past 6 laps between Adam Thompson and Kevin Thompson, I mean, he has lost about 0.8 over the past 6, but not as much as I thought it was.
Jamie Horn for the first time tonight getting out to close to 1 second of a lead on Andrew St. Core. About 0.8 this last time by. Cameron King now about 2 point. Right, is it correct? I got you this time. iRacing 2.7 seconds behind Justin McMahon, about 3.8, and Kevin Thompson just over 4 seconds off the pace of Jamie Horn. We've seen it kind of time and again here too in the Doghouse Racing League, and just kind of referencing things we've seen before. When you get in a position like this lead pack, or like Jamie Horn, where you're able to kind of pull away with the lead, especially when it looks like things are lining up for a green flag run at pit stops, that affects how you're able to do things so much. Because now you go from, oh, I might lose a lap, I'm gonna have to fight my way back, I'm gonna have to hope there's a caution and things like that. I believe it was Shane Parrish that we saw earlier in the year. I do not remember off the top of my head at what race, but he had built such a lead that by the time that the green flag pit stop cycled through and the leader came down, he was in 6th. And, you know, at that point had fresh tires and was able to run his way back up to the lead in 10 laps. But speaking of the lead, just about to cross lap 40 here, which is our second stage here in the MARSS Properties 200 at Pocono. Jamie Horn will be taking the bonus points for leading this stage, as well as he did in stage 1. Jamie Horn is currently going wall to wall, has led every single lap here tonight. Looking to continue that run here as this race goes on. Currently have 14 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap being Mark Dumont, who's currently running in 14th. 1 lap down, we currently have Mike Leftwich and Nicholas Atwood in 15th and 16th. Shane Parrish is 5 laps down in 17th. Adam Gardner is 6 laps down in 18th. Bill Gentry 14 laps down, currently on pit road. And Gary Armijo has called himself out of the race, so he will be finishing this race in the 20th position.
And while we're kind of shifting between cameras there, Kevin Thompson able to take that spot away from Justin McMahon. He's going to move up to the 4th place position. Meanwhile, looking at the deltas on the screen there between Justin McMahon and Adam Thompson, sitting in P6 right now, about the same that it was a few laps ago, so they're kind of keeping it a consistent distance.
And we just saw over to the driver chat. Cameron King, our third place driver, is going to be pitting in this next time by. Jamie Horn catching up to the bumper of, I believe that's going to be Adam Gardner. Adam Gardner trying to avoid going 7 laps down here.
Gonna ride along with Cameron King, see how well he gets into this pit stall here. Pretty good pit entry there. Not a new fan of the dashboard HUD, the new one that they put up, but it's another little change that iRacing made this week. Is the little dashboard HUD on a lot of the cars are different now.
Looks like Andrew St. Cyr also brought it in this time by, as did, as you just saw, Cameron King. So did Justin McMahon. So that is going to leave out on the track Jamie Horn, still leading this race by about 4.5 seconds. Kevin Thompson going to be currently running in second, 4.5 seconds back. Andrew St. Cyr is just pulling it back out onto the track. This thing is still trying to update. So I believe once this thing actually shuffles out correctly, it's going to be Jamie Horn, Kevin Thompson, Adam Thompson, Jamie Horn bringing it in this time by for his green flag pit stop.
Currently, I got Kevin Thompson sitting in first place, Daniel Wilkerson in second, Zach Michael in third. There's going to be about 11-second gap, 12-second almost behind between Thompson and Wilkerson. Wilkerson leading this pack around here.
It's like Adam Thompson brought it in this time by as well.
I kind of expect Kevin to do the same thing here. Yep, he looks like he's going to bring it down. Daniel Wilkerson coming down with it now, too. Looks like Gary Clooney's going to be following right behind him. Zach Michael going to pick up a lap lead.
Good for him. He's been fighting his way forward all night long. Good to see him get his lap lead up there at the front. He's going to have Christopher Simon and Eric Warman directly behind him.
Like Chris Simon's going to bring it in this time around. Zach Michael keeping it out there on the track. Eric Warman doing the same thing. Zach Miller falling behind Eric Warman. I believe Eric Anderson is the only one besides those that are still out on the track that have not pitted yet.
I believe Mike Leftwich we saw break down kind of early in the pit road cycle. So I doubt he'll be pitting with the rest of these drivers at this point, but
I'm looking at it here too, and it looks like Zach Michael and Zach Miller have both pitted twice already this race.
Interesting.
So I don't know if they're able to hold out just a little bit longer on a different fuel strategy here, but so we can pull up the pit strategy, pit stop lap. And it looks like all those guys put it on lap 18 last, and that's probably when they took fuel and tires. So if you can go 43, 42 laps is what it's looking like. They might be able to stay out for a while, but I do know those tires might be wearing off a little bit. They still got a good 28-second lead over the guys behind them.
Yeah, that's where it's going to get really interesting to see is like what that kind of fall off is going to look like, especially on these new tires. We haven't seen it. I know when we were talking, like you said, to Shane earlier on, he said that the fall off you're going to see really isn't as bad as it has been in the past. So maybe they have been able to figure that out and are just trying to run it to the bitter end. But Zach Michael, Eric Warman, and Zachary Miller all running a very comfortable top 3 right now. I believe you'd have to go back to Eric Anderson, who's 19 seconds off the pace to get to your 4th place, and then Jamie Horn back there in 5th, 22 seconds behind. And that's where you're going to find most of the drivers that were the lead pack of this race here before these green flag cycle of pit stops. Jamie Horn currently running 5th, Andrew St. Cyr in 6th, Cameron King in 7th, Justin McMahon 8th, and Adam Thompson 9th. Again, while we have a second here, this is the... Oh, go ahead.
I'm trying to kind of do some mental math here in my head. It's not really working out for me very well, but trying to figure out the strategy here. What's going to happen? It looks like by the time that Jamie Horn pitted on lap 43, he's only made up about a second, not even about half a second over the past 4 laps on these guys out here up front. And it looks like that Zach Michael and Zach Miller are going to be able to stretch this all the way to about lap 61. Now, on the other side, I don't think Jamie Horn's got to pit again.
So in some weird sense, him being able to see guys like Zach Michael, Eric Warman, Zachary Miller out there running it so successfully late into the run, maybe that's given these guys that are in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right now an idea that maybe they don't have to come down again.
Yeah, I mean, they really ran out 43 laps before they pitted and took fuel and everything. So they'll be able to get to the end. They won't have to pit again. These guys up front will have to pit again around lap 61, which is going to reshuffle things. So if you're St. Cyr, you're Cameron King, Jamie Horn, Justin McMahon, Adam Thompson, Kevin Thompson, you're going to shuffle back up to the front. I think it's going to level out the same way it just did earlier.
And kind of on that note, if I'm one of those guys right now, I'm wanting to be as close as possible in that kind of running pack, because you're still going to have that issue that we were seeing earlier where the leaders were able to pull away to such a big lead. There wasn't really anything you could do about it. We did just see Jamie Horn get around Eric Anderson this last time by to move himself up into 4th. Andrew St. Cyr running about a second and a half behind Jamie Horn. But then, Cameron King is going to be 6 seconds behind them. Another 4 seconds to Justin McMahon. And Adam Thompson's currently going to be almost 20 seconds behind Jamie Horn and Andrew St. Cyr.
Yeah, and looking at the deltas here again, Horn is gaining or making up time on St. Cyr. Putting a lot of distance between them, I should say. I apologize. I just woke up. Been a long week. Been on that reverse cycle for the whole week, and I kind of hate it right now, but we ride.
We ride.
I was going to transition that one, but that was going to be way too obvious, but...
I was thinking about it too. Got KW in the chat saying hoping for a yellow maybe. I think if you're Zach Michael, Eric Warman, Zachary Miller, I think you're hoping for a caution at this point. Because I think that gives you the best chance of getting freshened up and staying toward the front of the pack.
Yeah, because then they would maintain that spot.
Yeah, they would probably still lose their, first, second, third, but they wouldn't, have any great separation or anything like that. Because realistically, as big as Pocono is, you're also going to have that situation where if we have a green flag stop and Warman, Michael, and Miller need to pit, Which, speaking of, Zach Michael bringing it down pit road there, as well as Zachary Miller, Eric Warman keeping it out on the track. That's where they needed to go ahead and bring it down. I mean, in this situation for Michael and Miller, they're going to not only lose the second and third spots. I mean, Horn, St. Cor, all those guys are going to be able to catch all the way up and get well around them in the time it takes for them to get off pit road.
Ooh. Just about missed that blue line. Zach Michael coming off pit road.
Oh, wow.
Here's that caution. Trying to get to it right now. That is going to be Gary Clune. Pace car sliding around there.
And I'm going to need you to go find what happened there. I believe it was Shane Parrish and Gary Clune.
Oh, no.
And Shane Parrish has been DQ'd.
That is unfortunate for Gary Clune there, too. I know Gary Clune did get into Shane Parrish earlier on. I don't think any of that was intentional earlier on, but maybe just overdrove the corner on that first lap. Messed up Shane Parrish's day. Well, I said at the beginning, I think tempers were going to fly here tonight. People get used to this new setup, and that happened to happen. As we can see
That
here.
happened to...
Let me
think that
go back to this one more time to show you where it happened and who it happened in front of. There is the league admin in that 28 car right there.
Yeah.
Look, K-Doggy saying too many X's. So I don't think that was a... Was it a... Do you know if it was a Daniel Wilkerson DQ or was that a...
That was a Daniel Wilkerson DQ. I can confirm.
I didn't know if he had too many X's tonight.
No, that was, like you said, the race admin, Daniel Wilkerson, was right there, and he saw something that he did not like there. Like you said, there was some history there. Gary Clune did get into Shane Parrish earlier on, which caused Shane Parrish to be in a situation where he was 6 laps down here tonight, and didn't look like there was anything intentional to me. I actually think, if I remember correctly, earlier in the race, I think Cameron King apologized because he thought it was him. But it saw something he didn't like, and Shane Parrish has been DQ'd again. This is a race and a league where they run a very tight ship, and any sort of retaliatory action is not stood for, and Daniel saw something he did not like there.
Yeah, this is going back to lap 20 here. That little incident. Looks like Gary Clune was trying to get to the inside. Which to me is, it's unfortunate it happens, but it looks just like a racing move. Just kind of guys trying to get to the front. Trying to figure out these new cars.
Then another update, as we're trying to kind of sort through all this craziness. This is actually the first time I've seen this happen. Cameron King got a power surge while they were trying to get this thing back going green. So he ended up actually spinning out and getting into the inside wall. And so he is now on pit road getting some damage repaired. But for when that caution came out, like we were talking about, it was going to be either very fortunate or very unfortunate for some of these drivers. And it's looking like Andrew St. Cyr is going to be restarting in first. And then you're going to have Zach Michael, Jamie Horn, Eric Warman, Justin McMahon, Adam Thompson, Eric Anderson, Chris Simon, Daniel Wilkerson, and Mike Leftwich are going to make up your top 10 here. And Cameron King going to take an EOL on this caution extension here.
Before we do get back to the line, I want to give a little shout out to our sponsors, Group 6. This is the Group 6 Cup Series, MARSS Properties, Buttkicker, and Shoney's. Thank you for what you do. We are back to green flag racing. St. Cyr on the inside, taking it all the way to the high side to block it and get a good run into turn 1 here.
Seeing everybody kind of shuffle out as they try to figure out where they want to be here on lap 57. Going to be 23 laps to go here. Oh, Shoutcaster
Zach
Sam
Michael
in the comments saying, "Oh God,
he just clipped Adam Thompson, and Kevin Thompson,
Adam Thompson, all the way around."
I saw Michael wash up, hit the wall on the right side, came back down. Looked like Adam Thompson was trying to avoid him. Gets clipped, and I think Kevin Thompson also got involved in that at the very end of it.
Zach Michael down on pit road.
Sorry, I cut you off there with that comment read. My apologies.
No, you're good, and it actually still stands. Shoutcaster Sam in the comments saying money is on number 12 winning this one.
Little back-to-back action. Not a bad pick, man. He's been sitting in P2 all night. I mean, I don't think it's for lack of car. I think he might be just sizing up Jamie Horn, but Jamie Horn is fast here tonight. Another guy you got hard charging and kind of in a good spot right now is Justin McMahon, who's been keeping up with that front pack all night long too. So
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very, very interesting end to the race here. We saw a big collection of cars get caught up there in that one, including a lot of our front runners here. Zach Michael now going to be on pit road getting damage repaired. Adam Thompson, I think, got caught up in it, but he's still out on the track.
all right, go
Zachary
back.
Miller.
This starts
Zachary
all the way in
Miller
turn
down
one.
on pit road. Gary Clune still on pit road.
See Zach Michael there on the high side at 34. As everything kind of freezes up here on me, pops the wall, gets loose, hits hard. Adam Thompson trying his best just to get away. Chris Simon got involved in that as well.
K-Doggy in the chat saying he's got his money on the number 24 of Justin McMahon, currently running in third place.
Ooh.
Heard Daniel Wilkerson come over the radio as this whole thing was going on. Cars were spinning every which way. And this is a direct quote. You can quote Daniel Wilkerson on this one. "I about crapped in my britches."
I was just about to show his cockpit cam here as he's approaching around this corner, approaching this accident. He skirt through there.
Golly.
Woo!
I
Great driving by Daniel Wilkerson there. What a move.
I might have taken a dump as well. Got to be honest. Yeah, what would be the medically correct term there? Vacating.
Yeah. Oh. That's unfortunate for Chris Simon. Able to avoid the first one. I think he just kind of locked it up. Slid there, but so we got 12, pick for 12, Andrew St. Cour. We also got a pick for the 24 car of Justin McMahon. I mean, I gotta be honest. I'm cherry picking here. I think Jamie Horn has a really good shot. That is cherry picking my vote here, though. We've seen a lot of this race and practice and qualifying and warm up, so. But I do like that 12 machine, man. Went out there at Charlotte, not last week, but the week before. Got his first win of the season. Been knocking on the door all year long. I was happy for him. I know BMAC in the comments was happy. BMAC, a big supporter of that beast mode performance team, and Andrew St. Cour.
Always in there.
I see Adam Thompson, I believe, coming back around here. Going to have to pay his pit crew a little bit extra this week to fix that damage to get him back out on the track. He's been fast all night, but we've just seen these two groups kind of split up, where there's one pack running about 13 seconds ahead and one pack running about 13 seconds behind.
Seems like it's been kind of the theme here tonight. Did also just get a note saying that the leader's time hasn't changed on the tracker in quite a few laps. See if maybe that adjusts here after the restart.
On the broadcasting or iRacing in?
Broadcast end, I'm assuming. While we get everything kind of reshuffled back up here, just some updates here. Gary Clune has called himself out of the race here tonight. He's currently 5 laps down and in 15th. We'll lose a few more laps as this thing goes on. We are back to green flag racing. Andrew St. Cour is going to pull off in the lead. Jamie Horn in second. Eric Warman in third. Justin McMahon in fourth. And Daniel Wilkerson up in the 5th position. Eric Anderson up there in 6th, and Adam Thompson is going to be in the 7th position. Eric Anderson moved up quite a few spots, started in 19th and has been up to 6th. Do see him falling a little bit off the pace here. We see a lot of cars moving around. Still a good run out of him tonight.
I want to see if Jamie Horner is going to make that move early or not. Justin McMahon's going to fall back behind Eric Warman. Daniel Wilkerson will let him take that high side behind Justin McMahon. Been doing that all night around turn 3. Been working out on exit for him pretty well. He's going to have to fight off Adam Thompson there on the inside.
And it's kind of the tale of two runs right there. I mean, we talked about both of them here tonight. Daniel Wilkerson sticking almost entirely to that high side here tonight. And Adam Thompson been ripping the low side for most of the evening here. Been working out well for both of them, honestly. I mean, it just kind of seems like what the story of the particular lap is. Justin McMahon already looking to that inside of Eric Warman, trying to get it. They're going to get together. Good driving by both of them. McMahon looking like he's got a good run and might be able to get the job done here. Adam Thompson, same thing, looking to the inside of Daniel Wilkerson, but while they're Back here battling for position, Jamie Horn and Andrew St. Cyr are to get that separation from the pack again. Already about a second of separation.
Justin McMahon get a little wobble there coming out of turn 1. Able to hold it together. He should have a run on the inside coming through this tunnel here. Looks like Eric Warman's going to close the door on him.
Just heard Adam Thompson come over the radio. And again, direct quote to Adam Thompson here. Oh my good God, I am so stressed out. Me too, Adam. Me too.
It's like Cameron King's back out there on the bumper of Kevin Thompson in that 6 machine beast mode performance. Cameron King missing a few teammates. Usually has a full squad out here, been a little less for the past week or 2 races, I should say.
Hey, Doggy in the chat said, nice job by the 31 and the 2040. Yeah, it's been great racing by the both of them. They're racing very, very tight and doing really, really well.
And while we're back
here,
big
run out of Kevin Thompson. Good Lord.
We're back here watching this. We have a new lead change. Jamie Horn taking over Andrew St. Cyr for that first place spot. 17 to go. Coming to the stripe will be 16 to go. Jamie Horn starting to pull away a little bit. Justin McMahon and Eric Warman still duking it out. Good racing by these two.
Yeah, Daniel Wilkerson now looking to go to that top side, trying to get back around Justin McMahon. Adam Thompson trying to get up there to the bumper, see if he can't give Justin some help. See if they can't all kind of work their way up to the front here. About 1.8 seconds separates Jamie Horn and Andrew St. Cyr from the rest of this pack here. We currently have 11 cars out here on the lead lap, with Christopher Simon being the last car on the lead lap. Zachary Miller is currently your first car laps down. He's 4 laps down and 12th out on the racetrack.
Oh, Adam Thompson's getting a little loose. He's going to go to that inside wall. Slides it down pit road.
And he's going to hit that inside retaining wall.
That was some incredible driving by this whole pack there for the past few laps. Justin McMahon, unfortunately, is going to fall back to 7th place. Adam Thompson catching the short end of the stick. Going to have an unintentional pit stall stop here.
Unintentional pit stop.
Just to go say hey to the boys down on pit road. Eric Orman's going to keep that 3rd place spot. Daniel Wilkerson still ripping that high side, holding on to that 4th place position. Actually moving up, but he's got Kevin Thompson right behind him and moving up quickly. Cameron King back on the track, had that power surge earlier and is fighting his way back. Cameron King was sitting about P3 for most of the night.
Yeah, good to see him get back up there and kind of be fighting for one of those lead positions here again. They just get another note saying that the broadcast is not showing the lap time of the leader. Interesting.
Where's this note at?
Discord message.
Oh. Well, checking in here on our leaders here. Jamie Horn out in front by about 0.8 of a second. A lot of guys up into the wall back here in this pack that's been racing pretty hard.
It seems like every time we start to see something kind of developing back behind these leaders, there's something else shuffles around, or there's been a spin out or something like that has happened, but 1 and 2 has remained exactly the same. Jamie Horn and Andrew St. Corbin going back and forth all night long. Eric Warman
That's
still
Cameron
sitting up there
King
and,
up there in the wall. Sorry to cut you off.
nope, that's what it's for.
That's going to bring out our 6th caution of the night. See if we can jump back here to Cameron King to see what was going on here. I think I might have went just a little too far back. Just trying to sit here and look at my settings, make sure we had everything right. Yeah, I believe it was around turn 3, wherever Cameron King got turned or loose or. It's like he was trying to make an outside run here on Daniel Wilkerson. Got a little wobble there. I thought that was it. Oh. Yeah, it looks like Kevin Thompson just on the inside of him here.
Kevin Thompson was coming in with a full head of steam. Really getting a good run here over this last green flag run. But he is going to be taking the EOL penalty for this caution, which is going to put him back at the back of the pack as we get restarted here in just a few laps. I believe Cameron King has also called himself out of the race as well.
That's unfortunate. He's been fast all night. Looks like it was just some hard racing that happened. It actually looked like that Kevin Thompson tried to keep him straight after he got into him and touched that front bumper just to kind of keep the car straight for Cameron King, but unfortunately just got him spun out there. But we do have some pit stops going on between Kevin Thompson, Adam Thompson, Chris Simon. I see Mike Leftwich, Zach Michael down on pit road. Nicholas Atwood also down here still, and Bill Gentry.
As we get everything reshuffled here, we'll be able to see where everyone comes out. We do currently have, it's going to be 10 cars on the lead lap, and I believe Kevin Thompson is going to be bringing up that caboose as we come into the restart here, as Cameron King has called himself out of the race. We've got Zachary Miller 3 laps down in 12th. He is out on the racetrack. Adam Gardner is going to be 6 laps down in 13th, out on the racetrack. Mike Leftwich still down on pit road getting some repairs. He is 10 laps down in 14th. Zach Michael 11 laps down in 15th. Gary Clune is going to be out of the race. He called himself out after that last caution where him and Shane Parrish got together. Shane Parrish also not on the racetrack after an admin DQ following that caution. Nicholas Atwood is on pit road 26 laps down in 18th, and Bill Gentry is on pit road 44 laps down in 19th.
Yeah, kind of weird what happened with Justin McMahon there on that run. Looked very strong at the beginning. I mean, if I'm just taking a guess here, shot in the dark, you know, but it seemed like he liked that high side more and raced on that low side of Eric Warman. Just wasn't working out for him. Mainly through turn 3 especially. I saw him take that high side through 3. Wilkerson was following early in the race. Now Daniel Wilkerson up in that P3 spot. Always a good time when you got the Abbott in the top 3. Daniel does so much for this league, and also running race control mid-race is no easy task. So be able to do that and also keep it together up there in the top 3 right now is kind of crazy.
looks like coming into this restart, it's going to be, sorry, the driver radio and heard something funny. Jamie Horn, Andrew St. Clair, Daniel Wilkerson, Mark Dumont, and Eric Anderson is going to make up your top 5 as we come into this restart. Heard someone joking with Daniel Wilkerson saying, well, if you're all the way up there, I can't dump you. And Daniel said, honestly, don't know how I haven't dumped myself. According to your own words, Daniel, you almost dumped your britches earlier on. I could hear that.
Well, we do got 10 to go. Pace car is pulling off, 9 to go at the stripe. Jamie Horn with a really good jump. Kind of surprised a little bit there. Surprised me as well. Getting way up there.
That pace car has been Tokyo drifting all night long.
I mean, that pace car has an I rating of at least 9,000. That guy knows how to get around this track.
This guy drives.
Yeah. I just heard some car blow up in the background of our stream here, and I don't know what happened.
Daniel Wilkerson immediately trying to go to the inside of Mark Dumont, trying to get up there and get into that spot.
Chris Simon with a head full of steam.
Oh, big checkup on the inside.
Oh, watch out, Daniel.
Watch out. That's a big checkup. That's going to kind of woe up.
I think we're watching Adam Thompson drive a little angry right here.
Now I say that woed up Justin McMahon, and that woed up Eric Anderson there with Daniel Wilkerson having to check up just a little bit into that corner. But that is going to send Adam Thompson into his top 3 spot as he uses that to his advantage to work his way around Mark Dumont.
Maybe driving angry might be the wrong word, but we've seen time and time again this season if Adam Thompson gets in a little bit of bad luck early on into a run that seems like he just turns into another gear.
Yeah, and when he finds that gear, boy, do you need to watch out. Adam Thompson had a run, I can't remember for the life of me at what track it was. And I
Bristol.
Kind of want to say Bristol, where Adam Thompson had potentially one of the most incredible 3 laps that I've ever seen.
I think he came back from like multiple laps down and finished 4th.
Yep. Yeah, just flying. At a track where we'd seen tire fall off just kill so many drivers that night, and he went on a 40-lap tear and fought his way all the way back, which was really, really fun to watch. Again, just kind of listening to the driver radio here, hearing the chatter going on. I just heard Adam Thompson go, hey, Andrew, go catch that guy.
Other guys moving up pretty heavily here, too, is Chris Simon up 6 spots. Just saw him make a really good run. Kevin Thompson's going to work to the inside of him. Justin McMahon back on that high side. Looks like that's where he likes to live at here tonight. He's been working for him earlier on in this race. Let's see if he can do something with it here.
And Kevin Thompson kind of fighting for his spot here, as you just said. You saw Chris Simon and Justin McMahon work their way around there. Justin McMahon had a very, very fast car tonight. Seen him up around the top 3 most of the night. Ran into a little bit of bad luck here. But he's trying to fight his way back up into a podium spot as we come by. Lap 75, going to be 4 to go after the stripe this time. Jamie Horn still a very confident lead of about 0.8 of a second right now on Andrew St. Clair. Adam Thompson about 2.1 seconds behind the leader. Daniel Wilkerson had that little checkup we saw a couple laps back. It kind of got him slowed way down, and Adam Thompson to get into that 3rd position. Looks like he's trying to turn it back on and get up there and get his podium spot back.
Yeah, shuffling back here just a little bit further. We got Eric Anderson currently being passed by that 14 car, Mark Dumont. Eric Anderson's not going to let it happen on the inside. It's like Zach Miller in that 90 car is going to follow, hold him off here.
There is a little bit of lap traffic back there. Zachary Miller currently 3 laps down, and Adam Gardner going to be 6 laps down. Eric Anderson is your last car on the lead lap currently, running in that 10th position right now. Did start 19th though, so still a good night for him.
Has Eric Anderson always drove a Camry?
I don't know.
I just feel like that's a Ford kind of car with that whole paint scheme and everything.
I don't know. It's actually a really good question.
Looks like Mark Dumont's able to get around Eric Anderson there. Dumont showing a lot of improvement this season, making some really good runs, finishing in some high positions, and he's pretty high up in the points right now, I believe.
It's like Eric Warman just got a little bit loose right there. He currently finds himself in the 8th position. Got Kevin Thompson in 7th, Justin McMahon in 6th, Chris Simon in 5th. He is going to be on the bumper of Daniel Wilkerson, who is trying to get up here and get his podium spot back from Adam Thompson. Andrew St. Cyr going to be about 1 second behind Jamie Horn here, this time by just crossed the stripe. We are on lap 78, going to be 3 to go.
Chris
Does
Simon
anyone have anything in the tank for Jamie Horn? Looks like Andrew actually got about a 10th back that time by, as did Adam Thompson. Jamie just had an absolute rocket ship tonight, ran a flawless race. Seems like about the only times we haven't seen Jamie Horn in the lead is when he's been on pit road.
Yeah, and I was
looking at Andrew St. Cyr, who was your...
Go ahead. I was looking at some stats earlier. Jamie Horn leads 20% of the laps that he races in the Doghouse Racing League, which is kind of an incredible number to lead 20% of the laps you race.
That is incredible. Andrew St. Cyr, your pole winner here, though, been running an excellent race here tonight, though, as well. Does get another 10th back on Jamie Horn that last lap. He's 7/10 of a second off of Jamie Horn right now. 2 to go.
Watching Justin
White
McMahon
flag
get
comes
around.
out this next lap by.
Justin McMahon getting around Chris Simon here. Moving up into that 5th place spot, trying to chase down Daniel Wilkerson. Wilkerson still running that high side. McMahon going to the low side now, maybe a lane up. Kevin Thompson trying to follow suit, get around Chris Simon. Final lap, though, Jamie Horn out here in the lead.
Still got 7/10 of a second on Andrew St. Cyr. BMAC in the comments. Hold on, Andrew. Great. Andrew, you are doing great. Me and BMAC agree. Trying to run down Jamie Horn. Not sure that he's going to have enough time to do it, but Jamie Horn, Andrew St. Cyr, and Adam Thompson making up your top 3 right now. Justin McMahon and Daniel Wilkerson battling for that 4th spot. Chris Simon trying to get his nose in, see what he can do.
Wilkerson might have a run here.
We come around the corner. Jamie Horn is going to be your winner here at the Mars Properties 200. Andrew St. Cyr going to finish in 2nd place. Adam Thompson in 3rd. Daniel Wilkerson going to bring it home 4th. Kevin Thompson in 5th. Justin McMahon 6th. Chris Simon 7th. Eric Warman 8th. Mark Dumont 9th. And Eric Anderson 10th. And that will make up your top 10 here at the Mars Properties 200. What a fun race. What a race run by these leaders, man. We saw those guys do so well. Jamie Horn, Andrew St. Cyr. Saw some of the other guys we had running up front earlier have some bad luck. Gary Clune out of the race. Cameron King out of the race. But all in all, Jamie Horn with a dominating performance here tonight, winning both stages. Definitely going to take home the most laps led. Valiant performance there by Andrew St. Cord to stay running with him all night long. And what a comeback by Adam Thompson to get back into the top 3. Great run by Daniel Wilkerson as well. Started in 12th, moved up to 4th. Jamie Horn burning it down, taking home the trophy here from Pocono. Defeated the tricky triangle here tonight. Well deserved and earned for Jamie Horn. B-Mac in the comments. Congratulations, Jamie. Way to go, Andrew. Great race. Congrats, Adam.
Yeah, what a run by Adam Thompson there. I do want to go back before we finish up or start looking at our results and get these drivers in here for some interviews. I don't know what happened on this last run. I was trying to get Jamie Horn crossing the finish line, and this whole pack back here between Daniel Wilkerson, Justin McMahon, Chris Simon. It was Justin McMahon got a little bit loose there. Trying to fight forward on the inside. Daniel Wilkerson gets through, and Kevin Thompson. That was some good racing by, Justin McMahon, that whole pack around him, Eric Warman, Daniel Wilkerson, Chris Simon, Adam Thompson involved in it for a little bit there. Great racing by them all night.
Yeah, just a really good performance by everyone tonight. And way to talk about racing being a mental game a lot of the time. And when you have Jamie Horn and Andrew St. Cord, who really been kind of running the show here tonight, and these guys still putting their heads down and really, really getting after it. Really fun night of racing. A little bit of chaos like we were kind of expecting, given the fact we have the new tires and everything. But all in all, really fun race to watch.
Yeah, before we get these drivers in here for some interviews, why don't you tell us about our sponsors one more time?
I reckon I can make that happen. Again, thank you to everyone for joining us here tonight in the Group 6 Cup Series for the MARSS Properties 200. Special thank you to Group 6 for being our series sponsor for the year. Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com and see how they can drive your digital success. Special thanks to Group 6 for being our series sponsor this year. We just got done running the MARSS Properties 200 here at Pocono Raceway. MARSS Properties offers vacation house getaways in North Carolina from the ocean. Call 817-705-4108 and speak to Shane Parrish directly about your North Carolina getaway. Special thank you to MARSS Properties for sponsoring this race. The Doghouse Racing League is also very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Also, a special shout out to longtime sponsor and supporter of the Doghouse Racing League, Buttkicker. Be sure to check out their website at thebuttkicker.com to get the best in iRacing and racing haptics. If you want to take your racing experience to the next level, be sure you head on over to their website and pick yourself up something today. Again, thank you to Buttkicker for being a sponsor of the Doghouse Racing League. And then, as always, our little shameless self-plug that we get to do at the end of these races. Myself and John make up a company called Nap Daddy Racing. We are not just broadcasters up here in the booth. We have a whole other thing that we try to run as well. Originally an iRacing design shop, started in 2024. We have expanded to try to be your one-stop shop for all of your iRacing needs. Check out our website at napdaddyracing.com, KNAPPDADDYRACING.com for all of your custom design, template, or logo needs. And be sure to take a look at the free content available on the website as well. And even if you're not into iRacing, but just want to help support the boys, maybe get my dog some extra treats or help John's baby get those little baby crackers that they like so much, be sure to grab a t-shirt or a hat to help support the brand. Check us out here on Doghouse Racing TV on Thursdays, broadcasting for the Group 6 Cup Series on our YouTube channel, Nap Daddy Racing, broadcasting on Monday nights and live on TikTok as often as we can. We are, as always, extremely proud to be a part of the Doghouse Racing League.
Now we're going to take a quick 20-second break. I guess you can call it for station identification if you watch any, listen to any FM broadcasts of some baseball games, but we'll be right back in about 15-20 seconds. And coming back here tonight, I do have Adam Thompson in the booth with us. Adam, you got a copy with us in the booth?
I got a copy, but I don't know if I have a pulse. What in the world?
Man,
that was the most sketch race of my life. What did they do to these cars? I didn't practice one lap until before the race, about half hour before the race, and I couldn't get through turn one in practice to save my life. It just kept snapping loose.
Yeah, I mean,
but we figured it out.
Yeah, look, you figured it out. Had a rocket ship out there. I know in that last restart, you had a huge jump from I think like 7th or 8th into that 4th position. I just kept working your way up. Ran into some trouble tonight. Tell us about how the car was handling after taking that hit off the wall earlier on.
Yeah, so I was able to, it tells you all damage is repaired, but I could tell it was tight. It was kind of plowing center off there the last, well, ever since whatever that wreck was. I don't remember, 25 laps or whatever. But it wasn't horrible. The thing, everyone struggled tonight. We were all talking about it through chat, but yeah, everyone's just snappy loose. You're going to have to learn throttle control, which, on Tuesday nights, that's what that race is good for, because you have to drive that car. You have to manage everything about it, the steering, the brakes, the throttle, and the guys that have been doing that on Tuesday nights are going to find this transition, I think, a little easier.
Yeah, I was going to ask, my next question was, what car would you compare it with most? But are you thinking the Legacy Gen 4 car?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it's the throttle part of it, yes, because when you get in the gas on that one, you got to be ginger with it. They got to have an egg under there, or you'll spin out. That's how this one's functioning right now. Now it doesn't have that crazy horsepower that the Gen, what is it, the Gen 4?
Yeah, I guess they're Legacy Gen 4s now, but
yeah, right. I can't keep up. But yeah, I would definitely say it's a lot like that car as far as the throttle goes, because it just wants to snap on you.
Yeah, did you make any adjustments under pit stop here tonight?
Nope, I'm way too dumb to do that. I would make things way worse. I'm one of those dudes. I just put the set in and run it pretty much that way the whole race. Occasionally, if we're at a track, I don't know where, more or less, someone can just tell me like, "Hey, make this adjustment," then I'll do it. But yeah, I'm too dumb.
I have a whole cheat sheet every time I run that I have to look at constantly. So
same,
totally understandable. But man, that was a fantastic run. I mean, it seemed like my last question I got for you is, I kind of made a comment about you driving angry, and I had to readjust that because it's not really angry driving, but it seems like every race that you have a little bit of trouble early on, you flip a switch and just blast to the front. Was that kind of the case here tonight?
No, tonight I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, usually I'd be pissed off spinning out 2 or 3 times like that, but I don't know. I think I was just like, all right, it's a new car. Everyone's having the same issues. Just be chill. And so I did, for one. I'm not lying. I stayed chill this time and it worked out. But yes, you know me. I can get pretty fired up.
I mean, I love it. Every time it happens, you just put a rocket ship in there and take off. We were talking about the Bristol run, the historic Bristol run where you laps down, came back to finish, I think, third or fourth.
Yeah, that was a crazy race. I forgot about that.
Legendary. It's Hall of Fame. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Sign me up. How you boys doing?
Oh, just grinding through. So,
Getting done.
yeah,
All
finally,
right.
finally
Have
get
you
back
run
in
this
the
car
booth.
yet?
I haven't ran it once. We talked to Mr. Shane Parrish before this race started, and he gave us some input on it, but I have not ran this once. So I'm looking forward to trying to give it a shot. Probably not at Pocono, but maybe somewhere a little bit better than this. But
You know what? You should try it at Pocono. And I would argue that if you can figure it out at Pocono, you'll be good everywhere.
well, the officials, I guess I got till Monday to run it here at Pocono, so I might jump in a few.
Well, even if you just do some practice stuff, you don't have to do
Nah,
official.
we don't practice.
Well, I'll just jump to the chase. Thanks to you guys for putting on the show. Thanks to Doghouse for putting together the race for us. I can't wait to watch the broadcast because you guys always kill it up there. You do such a great job, and we really appreciate it. So thank you. And shout out to my family and Ryko for the setup. And I hope to talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. See you, boys.
See you.
Yeah.
Going to be Adam Thompson finishing third place here tonight. As my whole overlay just goes away there. But yeah, great run, man. Love it when he gets a little fired up under there and drives it to the front. But coming up next, I do have Andrew St. Core. Andrew, you got a copy with us?
I got you.
2 weeks straight, man. Back up here in the booth. Looked like you had a really good run here tonight for a second, but finishing off in second place is not bad. Going to help you out in the points, keep you, I believe, and probably might move you up a little bit.
I was in second.
You were in
Jamie
second.
was in first. He just gapped me further is all that happened.
I was about to say, I couldn't remember if you were in first or he was in second, if it was swapped.
Yeah.
We had some confusion, but
I think he won Nashville last week, and I missed the race because I was away for work. So he created some separation there. But yeah, no, he was just on rails all night tonight. And I'm sure, I don't know what Adam was talking about, but I know he's long-winded, but good on him. But we were just talking before Adam went up there how the new aero package, there's just no way. Like I kept getting with 7/10, 8/10, 9/10 to Jamie, and I just couldn't break it. There's nothing I could. It just seemed like you used to go down the straights, either the front stretch or the back stretch at Pocono, and you get within 6-7 tenths and you could suck up by 2 or 3 tenths before the corner, and now it doesn't happen. The only way you can do it is if you get within that 3 tenths, and then you tend to be able to get right on them, but the draft is nowhere near as strong. So it was definitely an interesting race tonight for Pocono for sure, from what we're used to.
yeah, I've seen a lot of guys kind of had that snap loose effect tonight. I cannot remember. I saw you kind of have a wobble. I believe it's off turn one exit maybe every now and then.
Yeah.
Was there a certain turn that was getting you more than others?
Well, for myself, I started the race too snug. I was really concerned for that snap loose, and but that snap loose comes from honestly getting the two things. It gets getting on throttle a little too hard, either on the exit of 3 or the exit of 1, with just too much wheel, and that's where that comes from. And that's what was happening to guys tonight, especially with this new tire model. This new tire model, you can drive it. And I'm sure you noticed in the broadcast all night that there wasn't much tire or speed fall off lap time. So, like, I think at the end, Adam had 27 lap better tires than I did, and I was gapping him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he was doing anything wrong. That just, I guess, calls out the fact that the tire fall off happens in the first 4 to 5 laps, and then after that, as long as you don't overheat your right front, right rear, you're gonna run consistent lap times all run. That's just what happens now. So I noticed it in officials this week, and then practice before this race, and then sure enough, it came to fruition tonight. It's the same thing. The lap times just don't fall off. Hence why I didn't go in and pit when Jamie pitted, because I really thought with dirty air and with the aero that I actually had a legitimate chance to stay in front of him, even if he took 2 tires or 4 tires, whatever he took. But he definitely had the car to beat tonight. So good on him.
So I haven't ran these cars yet, but my thought was, could you make the camber more aggressive on these cars now that the tire wear is not as bad?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely some differences with camber and I mean, spring rates and it's a completely. I mean, the setup shops that are, you know, they were scrambling this week to try to get this thing figured out. Um, the the in-car adjustments, the in race or sorry, mid-race adjustments, pit stops, with the perches, tire pressure, everything pretty well acted the same. There wasn't any variance, you know, for the most part. If you're loosening the car, you're trying not to fill over 15 gallons sort of thing. Otherwise you could be bottoming out. It's very similar, like a lot of that stuff. So when it comes to building cars, honestly, I'm not that experienced at it. I usually get very familiar with in race adjustments, that sort of thing. But there's definitely some differences from what it was prior for sure.
Absolutely. Well, before I let you go here, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I just want to thank the league, thank Daniel, Jamie, the rest of the admins. It's a lot of fun. Like I had a great time tonight. I think there was probably some people that maybe didn't, and I suspect there's going to be a little bit of controversy. But sometimes that's fun. But hopefully there's no hurt feelings. Everybody comes back next week and starts fresh, and we have a good race. Yeah, I got to thank my team BMP. Great group of guys that we work with every week, putting these sets together, working together on sets, and uh, and then thank those viewers out there. I suspect BMAX watching tonight. I don't know that for sure, but I suspect she probably is.
Oh, you
And
know it.
shout out to her. So, and guys, thanks for the great broadcast, and thanks for my player card last week. I appreciate that
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping
for
to
the Charlotte win. Yeah.
post those on our website soon. I actually I'm on my summer break officially as of 12 o'clock today, so I've got some
Well,
time to play around.
congratulations. You're all done your exams, your year end stuff, are you? So that's good.
Absolutely. So I got 3 weeks to play around. I'm gonna try to get all those cards up on our website so people can go through and see how their drivers are finishing and kind of scroll through like a little storyline there. So
Yeah, awesome. Well done on that, and I appreciate it.
yes,
Thanks,
sir.
guys.
Have a good one.
All right, take care.
That's gonna be Andrew St. Cour finishing second here tonight. Finished first last week or last race at Charlotte, I believe. Um, and then Nashville. We didn't broadcast Nashville because of the changes, I believe.
That is correct.
Or no, it was me and K Doggy that broadcasted Nashville. That's what it was. My apologies. And that's where Jamie Horn took the win there. St. Cour winning it the week before, but yeah, good run out of St. Cour tonight. Had a fast car. Definitely a car you got to get used to here. But coming up next, we do have your first place winner. I don't know why I always say first place winner, but first place, he is your winner. Jamie Horn coming up to the booth. Jamie, you got a copy with us?
I do.
Welcome back, man. I totally forgot that Nashville even happened. And I was saying St. Cour won last week, but this is 2 in a row for you. Going to boost you up in the points, solidify that first place spot that you got here. Tell us about this car and the new changes this week.
Oh, it was definitely challenging. It was fun. Uh, it was real on edge. If you mash the gas too much in the corners, you could loop it real easy. So I like the fact that you actually had to drive the car and not just, slam the throttle everywhere. If you did that, you wasn't gonna make it through the corner. So it was fun and challenging. So kind of enjoyed it probably more than I've enjoyed one of these races in a while.
Do you think the way these cars are now that it's going to change a lot? I mean, I know it's going to change a lot of the driving styles and the setups, but I asked St. Cour about the camber of the car. Maybe you can make it more aggressive. Is there any other changes you could probably make now that this car doesn't wear out as much?
So really and honestly, I'm not. I don't want to give an answer on that yet because, um, first week, new setup. I'd like to see what obviously not Atlanta really. Once we get past Atlanta, kind of see what some other tracks feel like, what the tire wear looks like there, and because I mean, really, you had a good bit of tire wear. There just wasn't fall off. So I'm thinking like, you probably could go kind of more aggressive on the camber. Um, you know, I really don't know because it's so much different than what it was before. I really don't know where I'd start to make any changes honestly yet.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask too, with like the lack of fall off here. I'm, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to say there should be changes to any league or whatever. I think the race links are fine, but do you think a longer race might be more beneficial?
So we're already running 100% fuel now. So tonight you could go, you know, pretty much probably max would be 40, 41, maybe 42 laps on a tank of fuel. So even if you made the links longer, you're still going to run out of fuel, in my opinion, before the tires would have gave up. And I remember I did take tires that last time. I only took right side tires, and I was really nervous about doing it because I didn't want to give up the track position because I knew how bad the dirty air was, and I hadn't been in dirty air all night. And whenever that happened, uh, went into the corner and my car just pushed straight up the track, and I tried to get out of it and try to turn it back down. And I know 34 is pretty hot. Um, there really wasn't much more I could do. I mean, if I just let off the gas even more, I was just going to plow into the side of him. So I don't know what more he thought I could do, but I reached out to him during the race, apologized. I apologize again. Like, it's first week, people make mistakes. I made a mistake, didn't realize the car was going to push like it did behind Andrew. And I mean, it did. Nothing I can do about it now, but say I'm sorry. And, you know, lesson learned. I think that's going to be probably the biggest challenge for all of us over the next few weeks is figuring out how to navigate through the dirty air and try to set up passes and be able to get through traffic.
Yeah, I think we kind of mentioned that before the race started, how we thought there might be some tempers flare a little bit tonight. We did see a little bit of that on some sides, but going to be a big learning curve, I think, for a lot of people and for all the drivers, really, about how to handle these cars and adjustments to make going forward. So,
Oh, absolutely.
but
And I mean, y'all watched me long enough and race with me. It's very rare I get into an incident with anybody, and we didn't even make contact. Hit just the dirty air sliding up over his nose, pushed him up into the wall, and again, nothing I could do. But I typically don't get into it with anybody, so apologize to him again. But at this point, there's nothing more I can do, and like I said, lesson learned. Need to figure out, dirty air better.
absolutely. Well, before I let you go, any shout outs or sponsors you want to give here?
Oh, shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Y'all do a great job each week. All our lead sponsors, Group6, Shoney's, Trackside, NASCAR Outlet, Buttkicker, Napday Designs. Anybody else I'm forgetting? I don't think I am, but probably am. MARSS, everybody that sponsors the league, we appreciate it. It helps tremendously with keeping the league going. All my teammates, all the practice they put in. So thanks to them. We put in a whole lot of time trying to get better, and shout out to my mom at home watching.
Cannot forget that last one there for sure.
Yeah, I could be in trouble.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight. That's 2 straight, and I'm looking forward to talking to you at Atlanta next week.
All right, y'all have a good night.
You too.
Man, take care.
It's going to be Jamie Horn finishing first place tonight for 2 weeks straight. Really solidify his point standing there, but overall, fantastic race, man. I mean, it's going to be a big learning curve for sure coming to these next few weeks about how to handle these cars. But before we go here, I do want to flash up some results from tonight. Finishing first place, you have Jamie Horn. Second place is Andrew St. Cour. Third is going to be Adam Thompson. Fourth place, bringing it home, is going to be Daniel Wilkerson. Had that strong run at the end there, especially on that high side. Kevin Thompson with beast mode performance going to be fifth. Justin McMahon in sixth place. I got a little loose coming off turn 3 there at the finish. Kind of set him back just a little bit, but Chris Simon finishing in the 7th place for that Shoney's race team. Eric Warman bringing it home 8th. Mark Dumont coming in 9th place tonight. Got Eric Anderson 10th. Zach Miller 11th. Adam Gardner in 12th. Cameron King in 13th. Mike Leftwich in 14th. Zach Michael in 15th. Gary Kloon 16th. Nick Atwood 17th. And Bill Gentry is going to be 18th. tonight, and that is going to be your results for Pocono here at the MARSS Properties 200. But any final thoughts?
No, just a really fun race to watch, man. You know, like I said at the beginning of the race before this thing even got started, you know, we're broadcasters up here, but first and foremost, we're fans, and I think watching these guys kind of battle through and figure out the new cars, really fun race. Like I think Jamie and Andrew were kind of alluding to, hope there's not too many, you know, hurt feelings or anything like that. You know, these guys all put on a great show, and normally it's super, super clean, but I understand that with there being new tire changes and new aero changes and stuff like that, it can be super frustrating. So had a little bit of trouble there, but other than that, I mean, super fun race to watch. You know, Jamie and Andrew did such a good job running at the front of the pack all night long, and Adam Thompson battling through some adversity and getting up there and getting that third place. And then Daniel and Kevin both coming in fourth and fifth did just a great job of managing through the trouble, and just a really fun race to watch. And I love Atlanta, so Atlanta's gonna be fun next week.
Yeah, Atlanta's gonna be an experience with this new tire model and everything, so I don't know how that's going to work out. It is the new Atlanta, just not really my favorite, but I know a lot of other people agree. But it'll be fun, man. It's gonna be like super speedway on a smaller 1.5-mile track, so I know a lot of these drivers do like it. A lot of people prefer the old one, but regardless, we're heading there. We're gonna get it done. Jamie Horn looking to do a three-peat here and get 3 in a row. Andrew St. Cyr trying to move up in the point standings. You know, you got other guys like Justin McMahon had a fantastic run tonight, really showed the talent here all night long, driving through traffic and holding it down. Same thing goes for Eric Warman. Those guys were battling lap over lap, you know, just really clean driving. So that was fun to watch.
It really was, man. And when you just have this many drivers who are competitive and want to get it done, I mean, it just makes for good racing every single week. And like when you were talking to Adam about how, you know, he can sometimes end up in some trouble earlier in the race, but you always see him back up there at the front. It seems like he puts a rocket pack on the back of that thing and he just gets it right back up there to the front. You know, someone you can never count out of a race. And we just see so many different driving styles of people who just run up front and lead laps, and then guys that are fighting from behind and getting back up there and making it competitive. It's good viewing all around, and exactly why you should subscribe to Doghouse Racing TV if you haven't already.
That was a good transition there.
Thank you.
Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, all the things that you do in this year 2025 on social medias. Obviously, I need to get more up to date with how YouTube works, but yeah, fun race. We'll be back here next week at 7:45 on Doghouse Racing TV. That's going to be on Thursday night on YouTube. Going to be racing here in Atlanta. A lot of drivers looking to improve on tonight. Jamie Horn looking to keep it going. Obviously, we're 3 in a row, but if you want to catch some more racing action, actually, I'm not sure if you can. Next week is a preseason race for the Tuesday night, but they do have a Tuesday night series coming up. I believe not next week, but the week after. That's going to be on Intensity Broadcasting on YouTube. That's going to be the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday night series presented by Trackside NASCAR Outlet. Special shout out to them. Also want to give a big shout out to our other sponsors, especially Group6 for sponsoring the league series here on Thursday nights. Big shout out to MARSS Properties for sponsoring this race in particular. Got to show love for Shoney. He's been a long time sponsor of the league since I've been here, at least. And also shout out to Buttkicker for being a sponsor for the league. We appreciate everything they do, keeping us up here in the booth, keeping the drivers on the track. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Tell your friends, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your dog. Everybody, get them out here. Get some good racing on next Thursday night at Atlanta. So for the last time, I have been John.
I've been Hunter.
And we will see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.